Hello, Chromebook trainers. This is the policies and procedures presentation. I updated it just to make it look a little more 2017. This is the first slide that you're looking at. We'll usually have this up on the big board, and we'll wait about say the session time starts at 9. We'll generally wait about 15 minutes for people to get checked in, trickle in, get seated and settled. And usually about 15 minutes after the session time begins, we'll begin policies and procedures. Generally, policies and procedures last about 45 minutes and usually begin when, myself, Chris, Pat, or Amy, we give you the heads up to get going. But again, it's about 45 minutes. Slide number 2 discusses the program goal. Usually what we'll do is just read this wordy, dense sentence out loud, and then we'll break it down and re-explain it in more simple terms for the audience. We may say something like, technology is everywhere in our lives. It's now our job as educators and parents to make sure the kids have the tools necessary so after they graduate, they can continue to be academically competitive. Something like that. You could ad-lib it and do your own thing. Slide number 3 talks about the funding of the Chromebooks. Generally we start out how the government gives out grants, so it gives out Race to the Top grants. Dr. E saw that the government was giving this out, and if he figured it couldn't hurt to throw our hat in the ring to try to get in some of this money. We applied, found out, we won to the tune of $20 million, so it wasn't such a bad day for Middletown. As an aside, we also point out that we were one of only 16 schools in the entire nation that received a Race to the Top grant that year. So it's pretty cool. We beat the odds. It was a nice little attaboy for us. And I kind of just touch on a little bit that it's not just Chromebooks that the funding goes to. It's other district initiatives such as everything that is involved with blended and flipped and the active learning environments, mastery classes, etc. Slide 4, I just go and expand a little bit more on why we use Chromebooks. You could point out, the different colors, enhances student learning. You can give examples of how a Chromebook enhances student learning in your classroom. It touches on, flipped and blended, and just not just having a Chromebook, but it prepares students to be college and career ready, whether it's, the military, etc. I'd also like to point out that in the district now, it's basically 1-to-1 Chromebook ratio. The students 7 through 12 each have their Chromebook to go home with. Grades K through 6, they all have a Chromebook that they use in the classroom for blended. Slide 5 is a 2-minute overview on what Google Chrome is. This is where you could you take this 2 minutes to get a quick drink of water. Slide 6, I point out the Google Chrome icon, just really general. Point out that the student's card and their credentials, those are basically Gmail, they're Google credentials. And anywhere in the world, whether it's out of school, they're on vacation or whatnot, anytime they see that Google Chrome icon, they could click that, log on with their credentials, and they'll have everything Google related to their account at their fingertips. Doesn't matter if it's an app on an iPhone, it's still going to work. So that's just a general overview of Google Chrome. Next slide, I delve more into the apps. And we're here. All right, so slide 7 discusses a lot of the common apps and extensions that we use on the Chromebook. I just realized right now I don't have Google Classroom on there, but you could always add that in there. So these are the ones I just threw on there. You could take the time to go over some of these and how they're beneficial in your class and how they're very effective. If there's one that's not on there that you rather enjoy, please take the time to talk about it and how you're a more effective teacher by having this specific app or an extension in your class, and the kids are all much smarter and going to grow up and do great things. So you can just add in to any of those that you feel necessary. Slide 8, you just want to discuss once they get their Chromebook, a couple things. If they have it and they transfer out of district, obviously they have to return the Chromebook. With the green right there is the Chromebook really yours. You want to point out that the Chromebook is technically issued to the student, but it's still the district's property, and it's the district's property to maintain, have the filter on, take care of it, warranty stuff, things like that. But then also note that once the student graduates, the district takes all the district-related things like the filter, contact filter off of it, and that it's the students to take to college with them and rock out and do their thing. and the orange, yellow inventory check throughout the year. That's just to ensure that Jason Tomasulo, the Chromebook that he possesses, is in fact his, and he didn't switch it with anyone. And there's an asset tag on the bottom of every Chromebook to where a technician may go and just scan the bottom to just ensure that everyone has their specific Chromebook that they were assigned. Slide 9 is a bit chunky and dense, but what I did, I just think it looks a lot cleaner this way. It was 3 separate slides originally, so it might take you a little bit, but just take the time to go over 5 of these major aspects. Taking care of your Chromebook at school, that make sure it's charged every day. Every teacher is going to have their own Chromebook expectation, and it's not going to be necessarily universal across the board. As far as the Wi-Fi goes, make sure you point out that if it's a student without Wi-Fi at home, to take the time as soon as they get their Chromebook to go to one of the tables, crack open that Chromebook and make sure it's logging in and connected to the Wi-Fi, to where if it's not, we have all the technicians there that could diagnose and check it out and fix it, send the kid on their merry way. Also note that, yes, if they don't have Wi-Fi at home, that it's becoming commonplace that there's free Wi-Fi in many places in the community, including a library. I'm not saying McDonald's or Panera, all those things, but it's becoming very common. Even the school parking lots, if they needed to get on the Wi-Fi to bang out a report, it was a little late, they could actually stand in the school parking lot and do that. The charger is a commonly lost item. The case, the Chromebook needs to be in their case if they're not using the Chromebook. And the pink is just a general information, like water and electricity don't mix. Don't put your Chromebook in water. Use it as an umbrella. Don't try to microwave it. Little things like that. And just be aware of, if you have an after-school event, that your Chromebook gets properly secured in a locker or whatnot. Content filter, it's basically, you want to point out that whatever is blocked at school is also going to be blocked on their Chromebook at home. Even if it's a different Wi-Fi, they could be on the other side of the world. The first thing it's going to do once it connects to the Wi-Fi and they do a search, it's going to go through the tech office and go through the filter and then send the results back. So things like Facebook, Twitter, if it's blocked at school, it's going to be blocked at home. Also point out that, yes, we are aware that students, they try to circumvent and override the filter. We're aware of it. Don't do it. You'll just find that you'll have to have disciplinary action if you're caught doing so. Slide 11 points out that basically in each building there's going to be, like, for lack of a better word, a Chromebook office, a Chromebook room. To where if something, if their Chromebook is acting up, a key falls off or something's cracked, to basically go to that Chromebook room, and this outlines, little things. Like if it's minor repair and maintenance, if the technician can fix it in a few minutes, they will do so and then send the student on their way. If it's something that requires a couple days, they will collect the Chromebook and offer and give the student a loaner to use until their original one is fixed. If their Chromebook is destroyed, like they use it as a frisbee or threw it in a puddle or microwaved it, then the student will receive a loaner Chromebook. However, once they graduate, they have to return that loaner Chromebook, so they can't take their original Chromebook with them to college. And the green is if it happens to be lost or stolen. If it was stolen, they definitely need to notify an administrator and just then notify the tech support, who will put it in lost mode and try to get a handle on where exactly it's at. They will receive a loaner in that case also. Slide 12. Oh, this is, we added a couple bullying videos on bullying. So this first one we used last year. It was pretty effective. It was talk about bullying metaphor, virus and metaphor for bullying. It's about 4.5 minutes. It's pretty decent. Speaking to Amy, she wanted to, ramp it up a little bit, make it a little bit more serious, so these kids understand. This video is about, a minute 30, and it generally talks about, typical college, high school student. You post something, once it's out there forever, and there's no getting it back. So it's kind of a little scary. And then this third one, this one's a minute 5. It's really quick. This one's pretty. It's a little creepy, but it sends the point home that once you do something, once you post something and it's out there, everyone's going to know about it, and it's hard to take back. And then we tie it all back in, try to like by this point they may be a little afraid of the internet and everything like that. So we just want to like touch back on digital citizenship, and just it comes down to these basic bullets. Just respect yourself. When you respect yourself, you're not going to put things out there, and that will then turn into you protecting yourself from doing something silly, say on social media. Um, Again, be careful what you put online. Once it's out there forever. The green bullet, I usually go into, Chris also and Pat, we usually go into a story about how, whether it was high school or college, and, you posted a silly picture online or on Facebook or whatever it is, and to you it may have seemed silly, and then you're applying for a job, and it comes back, and, you're a finalist for this job. They do, a social media search, and they see you, doing beer bongs and throwing fireworks at people, which may seem funny back then, but when it costs you a job, a good paying job, that costs you your benefits, it's not so funny anymore. So again, just make them aware of that, of something that they may do at a younger age may seem silly and funny. It could cost them in the future. The orange, definitely don't give your credentials to your friends, because once you do that, friend one day could be an enemy the next. They could log in onto your account and then put a lot of nasty stuff all under your name. And the red is, it's general stuff. Don't bully, harass, stalk, or forward inappropriate messages. That is it. So from here, they will basically, listen for the instructions. This is where, if we're in the cafetorium, we're going to split them up, and the teacher trainers will then take, specific groups, or just say 8 to 10 people, or whatever it is, into their specific classrooms for Chrome 101. All right, thank you very much for listening. I think I got this right. I just hammered straight through without actually stopping. So if I kind of did a hiccup here and there, I apologize. I'm not a professional voice actor, and I don't have great equipment like a boom mic or anything like that. So, all right, thanks for listening. Good luck, everybody.